Welcome, one and all, to A Late Show. I am your host, Stephen Colbert, as it says on the bone here. Well, we are live right there after the first presidential debate. Tonight was the opening round of Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. The battle of the boomers, the showman versus the Joe man. Get ready for democracy to crumble. I come to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, an empty vessel. A man with a mind wiped clean. I have stood in the swirling chaos of creation. I have seen Shiva dancing the destruction, wielding his trident, carving great gouts out of the universe. The sky at once both red and blue and black, until all that remained was a starless void in the hollow husk once known as Chris Wallace. We have emerged from the mad whirlwind where we gazed upon the forbidden countenance of God himself, and he said unto us, Jesus, stop interrupting him, you giant baby. Yes, tonight saw the best minds of our generation destroyed by madness, starving, hysterical, naked, dragging themselves through the streets at dawn looking for the mute button. Forget fact-checking this debate. We couldn't even do any sentence finding. I never thought I'd say this, but I am so looking forward to the vice presidential debate. I mean, for Pete's sake, children watched that. I'm glad I've already had my children, because I think just watching that sterilized me. But who knows? Who knows? I can get emotional. Maybe I'm a little overheated. Let's see what the news professionals had to say about it. Dana Bash?
That was a show.
Okay. Okay, that is, first of all, an insult to both shows and the other word that I can't say because this is CBS. And it's not exactly accurate, because at least after a 90-minute poop, you generally feel better. Okay. Let's get to the coverage. Going into tonight's debate, anticipation was a-bubblin'. The New York Times predicted a clash of style and ideas. No, bad New York Times, bad. Stop pretending that any of this is normal. They're not equivalent candidates. You don't see a guy trying to take a Molotov cocktail away from a baby and say, that's a real clash of style and ideas. Now, before the debate started, Chris Wallace gave us a preview of his moderation strategy, saying, my job is to be as invisible as possible. Chris, I could have told you trying to be invisible wouldn't help. Haven't you seen The Lord of the Rings?
I think my strongest asset, maybe by far, is my temperament.
Now, before things even got started, the difference in the candidates was clear, because everyone in Biden's side of the hall was wearing a mask. Most of the people on Trump's side, including his 4 children, were not wearing masks. And according to the Cleveland Clinic, it is a requirement that all guests wear masks. And that's not a medical requirement. The Cleveland Clinic just doesn't want to see Eric's mouth. Plus, you're not going to win over voters by killing them. Most polls show that voters do not respond well to their own deaths. Chris Wallace opened by laying out the rules for the sparse audience.
The audience here in the hall has promised to remain silent.
And not just the Republicans who have been cowards for the past 4 years. And even though the candidates did not shake hands, they did exchange pleasantries.
How you doing, man?
To which Trump replied, I'm okay. How are you doing, man, person, woman, camera, TV? It seems pretty clear from the beginning that Trump's debate strategy was just to talk over everyone.
Let me ask my question.
Well, I'll ask Joe. The individual mandate was the most unpopular aspect of Obamacare. I got rid of it.
I'd like you
and we will protect people with
President, I'm the moderator of this debate, and I would like you to let me ask my question.
And he just kept doing it all night. It reminded me of that time Abraham Lincoln debated a leaf blower. Now, Joe Biden did get in some zingers.
Mr. President, can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how to do that. He has,
You'd be surprised.
To which Melania responded, no, you wouldn't. Eventually, Biden had just had it.
Will you shut up, man?
No, he won't. Imagine if that worked. It's not great when you have to say the same thing to the President of the United States that you would shout at a friend who won't stop ranting about how Van Halen is actually better band with Sammy Hagar. Biden tried to highlight just how bad Trump has been on the coronavirus.
And by the way, maybe you could inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it. This is the same man.
That was said sarcastically, you know that.
It was sarcasm, just like my oath to uphold the Constitution and my marriage vows. I guess I'm just too hip for the room. Then things got a little personal.
A lot of people died, and a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
So, Mr. President?
Did you use the word smart? Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
I can imagine Trump's not used to hearing that word around him very much. Now, Wallace tried to paint the difference in the two candidates' campaigning style as a quirk.
President Trump, you're holding large rallies with crowds packed together, thousands of people.
Outside.
Outside, yes, sir, agreed. Vice President Biden, you are holding much smaller events. Why you holding the big rallies? Why you not?
We already know the big rallies are bad, Chris. This is like asking, Mr. President, you're tying ladies to the railroad tracks as the choo-choo train approaches. Mr. Biden, why did you go with the strategy of not killing your supporters? Now, Biden tried to explain that crowded Trump rallies were a health risk.
He's not worried about you. He's not worried about the people out there breathing in one another.
We've had no negative effect.
No negative effect.
We've had no negative effect. And we've had 35, 40,000 people at these rallies.
No negative effect from your rallies. That's an interesting point. Herman Cain, your thoughts? Herman Cain? Evidently, we're having connection issues with the great beyond. Now, Trump lamented the damaging effects of the lockdown.
You look at what's going on with divorce.
I mean, everywhere you look, there are wives saying to their husbands, Donald, the second you're out of office, I'm leaving you and your unspeakable burger farts. War crime. She used the word war crime. She's going to drag my ass, my literal ass, to the Hague. Come on. You got to find your happiness where you can. Trump bragged about how he's rescued the wide world of sports.
I'm the one that brought back football.
To which the Cleveland Brown fans said, yeah, we're good. Trump then tried to defend paying so little in taxes.
Before I came here, I was a private developer. I was a private business people.
I was a private business people. It was me and a bunch of me's that I made up for tax write-offs. The people. Then Joe just got fed up.
You're the worst president America has ever had.
Come on now, Mr. Vice President. That's not fair. He's also the worst president America will ever have. Trump tried to hit Joe where it hurt, his record.
I've done more in 47 months. I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe.
That's possible. But volume isn't everything. The nuclear bomb did more in Hiroshima in one day than any politician did in history. But something tells me it might have cost Truman the Japanese vote. There was an interesting moment of civility from Biden.
It's hard to get any word in with this clown. Excuse me, this
Hey, let me just say.
Whew. It's a good thing Joe corrected himself. He wouldn't want to lose the clown vote. It's also not accurate. If Trump was a clown, he'd have a much more professional face paint. Then Chris Wallace announced he was going to ask a question about race.
We're going to go to the next segment. I'm going to ask a question about race, but if you want to answer about something else, go ahead.
Chris Wallace restating America's official position on racism. Then we arrived at one of the most telling, one of the most upsetting moments, not only of the night, but of my lifetime, when the President of the United States was asked simply to condemn white supremacy.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups?
Sure. I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call them? What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
who would you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
Didn't do it. I don't support white supremacists. I just command them. Like a dog. That's why I've got this shiny dog whistle. Proud Boys, stand back. Sit. Who's a proud boy? You're a proud boy. On foreign affairs, Biden said Trump wasn't an attack dog. He was a lap dog.
He's Putin's puppy. He still refuses to even say anything to Putin about the bounty on the heads of American soldiers.
Okay, that's not true. I'm not his puppy. I'm his BFF. And I'm Kim Jong-un's squash partner. And I'm Recep Tayyip Erdogan's emergency soul cycle contact.
Trump explained the massive forest fires in California aren't climate change's fault.
The forest floors are loaded up with trees, dead trees that are years old, and they're like tinder.
They're like Tinder. You swipe right, you swipe left. Either way, total smoke show. And they are DTF, down to forest fire.
After one particularly long Trump spittle-filled blather, Chris Wallace tried to get things back on track.
Mr. Vice President answered his final question.
The final question is, I can't remember which of all his rantings.
I'm having a little trouble myself.
It's funny, because we are facing the most important election of our lifetimes, and we're letting the idiot who shouts the loudest decide what we talk about. Now, Trump ended up ginning up fears about the next election.
This is going to be a fraud like you've never seen.
Oh, I don't know. I'm looking at a pretty big one right now. And was Chris Wallace asked Trump if he would call on his voters to stay calm. Instead, Trump made a frightening call to his followers.
I'm urging my supporters to go into the polls and watch very carefully.
Maybe go hang out there wearing your favorite brown shirt and just, you know, assess the situation.
And after an hour and a half of soul-pulverizing menace, I feel like I did coming out of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. How can we possibly do this 2 more times? And ultimately, I think the American people, they were hurt tonight. And if you look online, they're angry. Because this is a serious moment where human lives and the future of this irreplaceable country is on the line. And I know that Chris Wallace says he's not a fact checker. But after 1.5 hours of chaos and lies, I can say there's one statement tonight that was absolutely true.
This is not going to end well. This is not going to end well.
We got a great show for you tonight. Later on, we'll have a performance by Public Enemy. But when we return, I'll get a debate reaction from Senator Cory Booker. Stick around.